What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are back today with another episode of the USS Defiant build series, and the first video shot after I redid my desk again. My workbench, basically, is now completely all put together. I took some time to do some investing and all of that jazz. You guys will see a video coming up soon, but needless to say, it doesn't look any different from your perspective, but trust me, from mine, this is pretty awesome. The first video, I've been super excited. Like, it's been days of work trying to get all of this stuff done, and it's been like weird little technical things that I've been doing, and you guys will see in the video coming up soon. So we're going to be resuming the paint on the top of the Defiant, and it's kind of interesting. I have chosen to use a decal for right here on this piece and on the bridge dome section. I had a really tough time taping it off, and really I don't want to. I really don't. And really it's kind of interesting is where I left off. I probably could have just kept going, but it was a lot of work and going through and like going painting and then doing the capillary work. It was all kind of done over a course of a day or so. And so I was like, I think it's time to go ahead and move on. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and tape off, and we're going to get our copper paint up onto the transporter emitters up here. And then we're going to go ahead and tape off and get our German gray into this little recess piece here. So it's going to be right in there. And then, that's pretty much, that. So, some tape, some basic paint, just kind of getting caught up with where it was before we totally botched the paint job and, totally screwed everything up. And then, we're going to come in here today, and what I said probably about 3 episodes ago, or so, we're going to come through and paint the clear pieces today. So, let's go ahead and start with getting our tape job done. Now, since the last time we have done tape on this model, we have switched over to the Tamiya tape. I just trust it more. So we're going to go ahead and start with it. The AK tape seems to be fine, and really it was just kind of the first application of the tape, and I think I was using just too thin of tape up in some of these areas, and so I'm going to try to limit my curved line tape to just through this curve right there, and then I'm going to use straight line tape on the edge, or just the regular masking tape along the edges. I'm not going to use 100% curved line, just because, it's one of those things where I was really excited to use it last time, but the effect didn't turn out really, really well. And to be honest with you, I don't want to do this again. This has been a haul on this model so far. And, I thought it was going to be a quick, nice and quick, easy one, really. And it has not been. Stop, go back, repaint. Although I gotta say, I'm still really impressed with the level of quality of paint that I got on this model. The Vallejo Mecha series is just a really, really nice series of paint. So, especially for Starfleet stuff, it works really, really well. So, okay, now let's go ahead and get this sealed in, and I'm going to be really, really pressing in here. If I can't emphasize it enough. Yeah, we're going to try this again, like I said. I mean, it's kind of lesson learned. And sometimes I forget now at this point, now that I've been, and say lesson learned, and here I am trying to peel tape off of a spot that's actually not where you're supposed to peel the tape off from. But once again, this whole thing is about, learning how to build models, and I happen to have a knack for it, I guess. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I still kind of blow myself away. And so I have a bit of a knack for it. And I love doing this, and I think it's not so much the knack for it, it's just I really love doing it. I really enjoy watching the guys that I partnered up with over at Hobby Time Modelers, and if you've seen some of our streams, it's one of those things where these guys are really full of talent. They think I'm pretty good, which kind of blows my mind if I'm being real. But the thing that for me that I'm really enjoying about joining up with those guys is just watching their videos and watching their different approaches. Obviously I'm building Starfleet and Star Trek ships, and we're going to be, like I said, as we've seen, we're going to be moving on to anything that's sci-fi. We're not going to just limit our scope, and we're going to keep our podcasts to strictly Star Trek and Star Wars content. But when it comes to just regular everyday, we're going to, like the model building and such, I'm going to run out of models soon, and so I recognize that. So now it's going to be anything sci-fi with the focus being, of course, on Star Trek and Star Wars. We'll always have one model series of going for ourselves for each one of the series, but the third model, and it's likely going to be replacing the Defiant here. The third model is going to be after the Defiant series. After the Defiant series is over, the third model is going to be something a little different. And I think I got an idea for it. I don't know. The world of modeling is kind of insane, and so the amount of money that you can spend doing this is kind of insane too. And so I don't know. I think I'm going to do something kind of rare, and I want to really try to find something that's going to be pretty cool for everyone to see. So, but you got to be kind of careful with vintage models because vintage is not a good thing in the model world. We're finding out. Oh, at least I'm finding out. For sure. Okay, so now I think this tape is a little thick for in between here. So let me go ahead and grab my, what do we have? Our 2mm? Yeah, let's grab our 2mm. And go ahead and get it started. I'm going to use 3 pieces of 2mm here. I'm just going to grab one long strip. Cut it. Cut the first one here. And we're going to go ahead and set that one right here. There we go. Very nice. Getting a little bit I get rusty with taping, but the reacquaintance doesn't take long these days, which is kind of nice. And that was also super kind of nice. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to put the last little piece of this over the top. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make sure that's all sealed in. Super paranoid, and I'm going to be really careful with making sure it doesn't bleed through. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and turn this over. And let's go ahead and do the low-hanging fruit and take care of the bigger chunks of the straight lining that we can do. So we're going to just go straight out. And I'm going to use my scissors to get myself some straight edges here. I'm going to come along the inside here. Trying to be as precise as possible. Although, I think I'm going to back off just a little bit and be precise on the other side. There we go. I think that's a better approach. There we go. Probably didn't need that big of a piece, but whatever. It's all cool. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use it over here then. Let's pull it back and use the other end. There we go. So now let's grab a smaller piece, Jordan. Okay, so what I do here. There we go. Very good. Finding the tape, not very good. Goodness, man. There it is. That is a small little piece here. And I think we're going to be done with that tape for the day. Back just a little bit. There it is, perfect. Okay, so now, oh, no, not quite perfect. Now it's perfect. No, no, it's not. Now it's perfect. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now, I'm going to take our 2mm here. Just grab a strip. It's likely all we're going to need for at least one, maybe even both sides. And then what I like to do is take it, stick it to the sprue, and I'm going to cut off, make sure our pieces are straight. I like to cut off just a few of our pieces here so we can have a few ready to go. We'll be right back. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start with wherever the pieces that I grab, like whatever the size is, I'm just going to go ahead and use. So the bigger pieces here. There we go. Something here. Once again, some of the reasons I'm finding is that, that I kind of make mistakes will be because I'm rushing. Because I'm trying to make sure these videos are not too long, I mean, it's gotta be real, like I'm I'm not here to break my own arm servicing myself, so to say. And I don't like listening just to the sound of my own voice, and I'm trying to make sure the content is good, you know. And so, that being said, you know, like anything that I could do to be more efficient, but at the same time be as accurate as possible and focus on the quality of the work, then that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, this is actually doing fantastic things for me right now. I'm super pleased. Okay, remember that for next time. Oh man, we're right on the money. Okay, it's really working. There we are. Very good. Okay. So, well, that's going to be enough for both sides, I say. So, let's set this one down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut some more. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we should have enough pieces left. Let's go ahead and get this finished up. And in the process, I was able to get one that was like kind of perfect. And I was able to work on this piece right here. Right where I'm working right now. A little bit of this tape got down inside. There we go. I believe this one is all ready to go. Just have to like double confirm that everything was all set in there. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish up the other side. Then we get to get some painting. Ooh, didn't even grab it. Piece of tape stuck to my finger and there's nothing I can do about it right now. And I can feel it and it's driving me insane. Bye-bye. Okay. So. Perfect. Maybe I didn't cut enough. We'll see. I was like, yeah, it's going to be enough. Should be. So say we all. That'd be a cool model to build, actually. Battlestar? Hell yeah. That'd be a super cool model to build. I'm going to write that down at the end of this episode. And editing me, if I didn't, write that down now. Find Battlestar Galactica. That would be a super cool mod. Super cool model. Nope, I don't think I got enough. Did I? Did I? I did not. And this one did go all the way down into there. There we are. Okay, so now I just need a couple smaller pieces of tape here. I'm not going to cut for this. I have it dangling from my microphone. And it works perfectly. Microphone's a tool, right? Right. That's in there. I think just one tiny little piece of tape here. We're ready to do some paint. Now, I am going to make a controversial move. I'm switching over from Lacquer. Boy, this is a really tiny piece of tape, Jordan. I can't believe we cut that. I'm switching over from Lacquer to Acrylic. I am worried about the paint bleed on this model. And I'm curious if it's coming from the lacquer. I don't know. So I went ahead and picked up some German gray. In the acrylic. And we'll see. Now, if I have to wash the nacelles because they have the lacquer on there, I will. And we will see at the end of this episode what the approach for the next episode is going to be. So that is all of our tape for this week. Let's go ahead and get our pieces set aside. Tape off to the side. Now, let's go ahead and grab the German gray. And this is going to be a new bottle. And I am going to grab a small flat brush. Where are ya? There you go. Okay, so I got a small flat brush. We're all ready to roll. Let's go ahead and get in there. Ooh, you know, Jordan, you should have been paying attention. You are not painting that color anywhere else other. Goodness me. I'll be right back. Okay. So, jeez, Jordan. So excited just to use the new paint. I'm curious, though, how the German gray is going to go in here. Especially with the acrylic. Oh, yeah. The acrylic is good. We're good. We'll see how this dries. We're going to do... Basically, what I'm going to do is we're just going to do this first coat. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to doing the clear. And then I'm going to, off camera, 2 more coats of our color for both. There we are. Oh yeah. And this German gray is a great color. I really like it. It's great in both lacquer and the acrylic. Okay. As crazy as it is, that's it. Let's go ahead and get our brush cleaned up. Now, let's go ahead and grab our copper paint. Just thankfully right next to it. And it's the copper acrylic, the XF6 from Tamiya. Make sure to check out in the description below for all of our paints used today. all of our equipment. Okay, so what we're going to do, so make sure we got plenty of color on here. I'm going to get off the excess, and I'm going to be patient with this. Just be careful. I don't know if I'm going to do 3 coats of this. May just do the 1. But, Jordan, remember you did 3 coats on the front. So, we'll see. Okay. So now, all of that work we're basically there. We're basically there. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull this evenly. We're going to do 3 coats for sure. Okay. So I'm going to approach the copper paint a little bit differently than we did last time. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside to dry. And now we're going to go ahead and grab our clear parts and go ahead and grab my red and the blue. I use the I'm not really indiscriminate with the clears. I bought just kind of whatever clears I could find at the very beginning of this whole modeling process, and so yeah, I was like, whatever. Okay, so oh, Mr. Clear is not bad, or Mr. what is it, Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color, excuse me, Mr. Clear. Wow. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to grab a flat brush. And I think we'll just use the same brush we were just using. And we need to identify the parts that we're going to paint what color. So let's start with the blue. And it's the Mr. Color Clear Blue, number 50. Okay. And if you all aren't familiar, this is just nail polish. Okay, so we're going to paint the backs and not the fronts. And I need to identify which is which here because it seems like they're flipping that around depending on the piece. So these are the blue. So this is the back of these are the warp field coils. And so we're just going to paint blue here and here. These are all blue, so we're going to paint these blue. The front is blue, and we're going to paint just back behind here. Okay, so this is back behind. This is actually the front of that. But this is the back, and that's the front. It's so interesting. Okay, and then we'll take a look. I believe 2 of these are going to be... Oh, what is it? These 2 are gray. And these 4 are red. Okay, so perfect. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So, that's right, Jordan. Remember, these are little cups for the paint. So, make sure I got it right. And I'm just going to paint right inside the grill here. We're going to paint the fronts gray, but I'm going to try to avoid like covering that up as much as possible. around the outside. Okay, we'll pull off any excess paint. Come back over and get another coat here in just a minute, but I don't want to have any extreme high or low points. Not going to be lighting the model, but don't want it to be inconsistent. That's better. That's a much better coat right there. Around the outside of the warp-filled grill. Let's go ahead and pull some of that paint evenly. We'll let this dry for a few minutes. See how it turned out. Yeah, I mean, once again, like it's we're not done painting that anywhere, nowhere close to done painting that. So let's go ahead and come over here to the front. And I'm just going to paint the entire back of this. Not going to worry about trying to be precise. This is going to get the copper on the front of it on certain points. But only on certain points, okay? So we're going to come around the back here. And go ahead and just get some paint inside there. I'm not worried about going too heavy here. I want a lot of paint to get in there. I really want it to really pop. Okay, let's see how those turned out. That turned out pretty cool. Okay. So, for the sake of keeping things moving, I'm going to go ahead and grab another brush. Let's go ahead and give our red paint a shake. Set that on our sprue rack for a second. Don't fall. Don't fall. There we go. Get this open. Oof. Oof. Man, that's a strong one. I don't know why I just smelled it. I'm not a smart man. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Let's use this one here. Nope. What do we do? Too small. That was a struggle. There we are. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and grab. This is going to be textured front, so this is going to be the back. Wrong brush. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Man. It's just like, wow, that's not nearly enough of a paintbrush. There we are. So I'm not going to worry about painting the gray ones. We're just going to be focusing on the clear paint today. Got to figure out what gray that's going to be. And I haven't done my research. Okay. I'll pull that smooth here in just a moment. See how that turned out. Oop. Need a little bit more. Okay. Make sure to come through, and this paint is, I think it's just the brush. I'm not using the right brush. I should be using a flat brush. No, it is what it is. Okay. So those are the dark ones, and then these are all red. Okay. So as I finish these up, I'm going to go ahead and let these dry for about 15-20 minutes under the fan. And then I'm going to come back and give them 2 more coats. And I'm basically going to do 2 more coats across the entire, everything that we've done. And then we'll come back and be ready to peel some tape and see how everything turned out. Super curious to see if I'm... I am very nervous. I gotta be real. I'm very, very nervous. I'm very, very nervous. But, you know, hey, once again, this is all about learning. And we're learning. This is what you do, and this is what you don't do. Okay, I'm just making that worse. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that on there. Oh yeah, this is 100% nail polish. Okay. All right, we're going to let that dry. I'm going to come back, give it a couple more coats, and then we'll be back here in just a little while. From my perspective, from your perspective, we'll be right back, and we'll see how everything turned out. All right, we're back, and after a red alert, we're back. I was in the process of kind of like looking at things in between the drying and getting ready for the shoot this last part of the video, and I noticed that the curved line tape just completely peeled up. And I did an experiment on another piece of model, like another model, piece of plastic that was left over from a model that I'm not using. And the moment that this copper paint touches that plastic, it's over. It just lifts. And it's no wonder that I was having such a problem. So, as you can see, like, it just went right in. And underneath, it was a mess. It was just an absolute mess. And so I quickly came through here with some Q-tips and my thinner, and I was able to quickly clean up without getting into the base coat paint. So I got really lucky. I was able to catch it. It hadn't had a chance to dry yet. So that's why that's peeled, and that's why the copper paint is likely going to be replaced with something different than the Tamiya. I'm super curious. It did turn out really well, so let's go ahead and take a look at the paint job. The copper did turn out really, really well, and there is some shininess here. I'm just going to deal with it. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. So overall, the copper turned out pretty good, but yeah, anytime I use copper going forward, I'm going to be using something different. So let's go ahead and grab our tweezers. Grab some blunt end ones so we're not going to be scraping the models anymore. So let's go ahead and grab a piece here. Let's see how this turned out. Also, I freehanded that. I realized, I was like, oh my god, that was supposed to be painted there as well. And so I freehanded that, and it turned out really, really, really good. I'm really surprised, really pleased with how well that turned out. Yeah, freehand, guys, not bad, getting better. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull our tape. Oh yeah, very nice, nice and clean. There's a little bit of a schmutz there. Yeah, you know what? Fine, whatever. I don't care. It's all good compared to what we've dealt with here before. Okay, that's turned out pretty good. That turned out pretty good. Yep. Very good. Okay. I don't even know where that went. Oh, it's right over there. I was like, where did it go? And so we can grab both pieces here. Very good. All right. This really wasn't an issue before on the previous build, but yeah, it wasn't really an issue, but that turned out pretty good. Let's go ahead and grab over here. Oh, this 2mm is so small. I was looking at the 1mm again. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I bought that. I don't see many uses for that one. Okay. A little bit of bleed. That's fine. I'll probably come through. And likely what I'm going to do as well... Man, this is like precision painting, and I probably could have done better. Yeah, I'm going to come through here with the base coat color, and I'll just kind of touch it up. But I could have probably done a better job freehanding that, if I'm being real, based on how I do over there. So overall, though, not bad, but I'll say that the last time was better. As Sade said, it's never as good as the first time. So there's that. So, okay, you know, overall, I give myself a B on this one. This is, man, this has just been a challenging paint job. But we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to be doing our light gray next time. So I think we're going to be just fine going forward. But I'm contemplating picking up the Aztec dummy for this, and I'm just not quite sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about picking up the Aztec dummy. I'm just not... I don't know how I'd employ it, but I'd have to figure something out. So I'm likely going to grab the Aztec dummy for it. I'll let you guys know in the next episode. So let's go ahead and grab our clear piece. It has been an hour since I finished recording and the previous section, and it is still very much wet. So it does take a long time to dry, so we're going to be leaving this out overnight under the fan to go ahead and dry. But overall, not a bad result. We're going to need to come through here, and while it's still on the sprue, and in the next episode, after we get our either masking set done or whatever we're going to do for the next episode, we are going to come through here and paint over the top gray, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of copper. Oh god, I'm going to go pick up some copper. Anyway, so we're going to be kind of finishing up our detail work on these pieces here and getting them set aside ready for final assembly. So I think that's what I got for you guys today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things that you all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, and tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world, wherever you happen to be. And just remember to always live long and prosper.